The fire that burns in the social, psychological, and spiritual dimensions of humanity can ruin the world. Or this fire can transform into community. It's up to us. Sitting in the Fire, Arnold Mendel. In this program, and in this series, you'll learn about a group process called WorldWork, a process committed to building community by paying close attention to power, rank, revenge, and abuse in group work. WorldWork begins with the work of Dr. Arnold Mendel. Trained first as a theoretical physicist at MIT in Boston, he went on to study Jungian psychology in Switzerland. There he drew on other psychological approaches, Eastern philosophy, non-Western and shamanic traditions to develop his own approach to individual therapy. It's called process work. Today, there are thousands of people around the world who have been trained in this therapeutic approach. In the 1980s, with Dr. Amy Mendel and other process work colleagues, Arnie Mendel began to apply these personal therapeutic techniques to class, race, gender, and other conflicts that arise at the group and social level, a process that is now called WorldWork.
So WorldWork works at the most everyday level of rights and distribution of power and distribution of money and distribution of respect and what have you, and also at this deeper level, all the feeling stuff and emotional human stuff, the upsetness, the antagonism, the great dreams and desires that we have, giving that a floor and letting that stuff come forward and speak. And so WorldWork deals with learning how to manage and get deeper into the emotional and then even into the dream-like situations of all of us so that we can come together and work together better.
The Mendels and other WorldWork facilitators work with a variety of groups and businesses around the world. And over the years, they've held WorldWork training seminars in Europe, in India, in the state of Oregon, and in the summer of 1999 in Washington, D.C. at Howard University. Here in Washington, as in all WorldWork seminars, there's no agenda per se. The group as a whole tries to fairly sort through all the issues and concerns in the room and come to a consensus on which issue to focus.
We have tried to get Northern Ireland on the board since we have arrived.
I really would like us to focus on Holocaust and contemporary anti-Semitism.
I want to be heard. This is exactly what you do in international development. You push us back on the agenda, back and down all the time.
Our sister is here who is Indigenous, who's invisible in this country, Native American Indians. In my country, on my land, I'm invisible.
I'd like to speak.
I have a topic for eldership.
And we just want to get ourselves on the board. We can go on with issues all day.
I'm a Jew living in Poland, faced with incredible anti-Semitism every day. And I personally feel that we should not talk about that issue, that we should work on the Balkans.
Friends, do we have a consensus to work on that? It looks like a consensus, friends. All right.
This WorldWork seminar took place at the end of June of 1999, just weeks after the U.S.-led NATO bombing campaign against the Serbs of Yugoslavia had ended. There were dozens of people attending the seminar from the Balkans, Eastern Europe, Greece, Russia, and other countries historically involved, and so many different views of the history of the Balkans. And of this recent air war against Yugoslavia, the bombs seemed to fall right on the room.
Yesterday, for the first time, the Balkans, we had a meeting, and I would like to see them again and to invite them in the center.
And I would like to ask you, as a group,
if you prefer to facilitate yourself, or if you want us to be involved.
No, stand for your position. You are facilitator of the world.
Thank you.
I feel like the position of, say, the American public, or even public opinion in the world, that this action should be taken, the military action by NATO or by the UN should be taken, that it's that, I feel that someone should stand for that side. But from the American public side, I would like to stand for that. You know,
Thank you very much. Can we first see each other? Can we first just have a look at each other and see who we are, first as Balkans? You know, for us it's also new.
Most people here who talk to me saw a Serb in me, so I had to face everybody as a Serb, and everybody asked me whether I acknowledge what the Serbs did and that kind of stuff. And here we are facing Americans and Western Europeans and the rest of the world, 19 countries refusing to face what they did. And if I can talk about that, I think you can too, or you should. We have done lots of evil to each other. Our governments have, even if individual people have not, but the feeling here is that there is a collective responsibility, if not collective guilt. And it is repeating itself all over again, even in this small group. I think it's extremely important to talk about this war and the role of NATO, outside world, and the destruction.
I hear that there is an air. Yeah. Michael. Hi. I hear you and we see you. We are also trying to do something in the middle. Help. We are also trying to do something in the middle, which is extremely difficult for everyone. Help us.
So many things happen at once in war also.
We're sitting here comparing Holocaust. Fuck that shit. Everybody in this room has a fucking Holocaust story to tell. You gotta hold this space for me right now, because I don't get in this place like that. Before I compare pain with you.
This is reality also.
You do what you do. Hold on a second though. Stick with me. Because we're comparing pains. So I'm gonna compare mine to everybody else's. Let's compare some pain. Because that's what we've been doing for 7 days. If you can't hear this, you should have stayed at home. You ain't got no business.
I think it's time to shut up now!
I like your visionary poetry.
It's enough!
Lily, is that a nationalist song?
Maybe we can hold the space for the people who came into the center.
I saw a group of people from the Balkans trying to come here and try to do something.
They should do that in the Balkans. They should do that in themselves before they come in here.
I'd like to talk to the people from the Balkans
Yes.
and ask if there's an emotional thing that has been marginalized in the feelings around the war here, that could be brought out now would be very helpful.
I'm from Croatia, and I know how is it to be bombed. And I'm thanking Michael, because he's bombing us right now. And he's giving us the opportunity, all of us here, to see, to feel how it is. That's what's going on in the Balkan. And I think that now you're having a picture. I think that you're having a picture. For him, I feel grateful, because he's teaching me a lesson. How am I have to approach him to make him silent, quiet? I'm interested what's going on with him. I see hurt feelings there. I see.
How about in?
What?
Here.
I think.
How do I feel?
Yes. The hurt feelings in the background.
Powerless. We can only look up and see what drops down.
Yeah, that's how I feel. I'm trembling. I'm trembling. And I'm patient. I'm very patient. I let him to speak. That's what I've learned in a war. Patience. All of these days, all 5 days, I'm letting people here to speak.
What choice do you have?
I need your issues. I have the same problems over there. We have our time right now, I think. And I think we should focus what to do to put all our brains together, what to do with that kind of terrorists, what to do a non-violent way and an efficient way. We have a great teacher here in the world. We have a Dalai Lama up in Tibet. They're non-violent.
I cannot listen to you, Annabella, anymore, because yes, I speak this voice too. I speak voice of patience and hope, but right now it's just I cannot do anything about it. So where the hope is, when I was sent home. So what am I doing here? Yes, I was sent home a couple of minutes ago. You go there and you deal with it there. But if I don't like what you do, then I will come. And not only to Yugoslavia, I will come to Croatia too. I will come to I'm already in Bosnia. I can come wherever I want. I feel like ant, small ant, looking up. Who is going to step on me?
There's so much feeling here in the center. There's
Lots of feeling.
Also outside of the group. In the corner, out of the center, there's a strong feeling. And in the center.
I want to speak. I'm sick of these patients. I don't want to be patient anymore. I don't want to be patient. I want you to hear me and not to interrupt me when I want to talk to you from my heart. I don't want to interrupt me. Yesterday and the day before yesterday, I listened to other people and I realized how difficult it is to hear others when you are not heard. And there is such a pain inside you that you just cannot listen. And I think what I'm feeling now that I cannot even express myself because it's so much pain inside of not being heard for so many days here and for so many years and centuries. And
what makes you mad about the bombing?
What makes me mad about the bombing? It's just so unfair. It's so unfair to do that to people who, of course, are guilty as all of us. I feel furious about that. I want to kill the people who bombed Yugoslavia. I want to kill them too. Why did they do that to these people?
I don't know when it's coming.
I'm as a Russian person, I am very vulnerable here because Russia did so many things to other nations, but Serbs is very important to us. Serbs as a nation is very important to us. I feel they are our brothers, and I feel this century is unjust, which was done to them. So I want to speak for them.
That's the same reason that the Americans used to drop the bombs. That we want to kill those people who killed the Albanians. Because they killed the Albanians, so we want to kill them. I have to say, I felt this sometimes. There were times in the past year where I felt that too.
Can I just point out that another dimension? Complex war situation has just come in. There are many, many different issues.
I'm from Bulgaria. I'm really from the Balkans. I would like to say to you, Zhenya, we have one and the same names, that you're not only vulnerable on this issue, you have a lot of responsibility for it as a representative, not personally, much more than Michael had. I'm absolutely against saying that Michael was bombing us. He's not the representative of those who bombed us. It's a responsibility of this group to not allow the role of the bomber to be taken by a person who is an equal victim. I just want to say that we don't need to know anything more about the war. We just saw it here. It's the very same thing. Two victims of one and the same system, the Serbians and the Kosovars, were clashed against each other. And this was manipulated for them. There was a third party who was doing that, like here. It was allowed to happen. And then the third party appeared as a savior and said, I'll pick up this one and save him. I'll pick up this one and victimize him. And I don't want this to happen here, because then we are recreating the same thing. We just don't need to know anything more about this war. We just need to know that we don't have to put it on the Serbian nation. We don't have to put it that we on the Balkans are primitive people, because those are your explanations. When you say one person, Milosevic, behind this is the explanation. He's representative of those people there. He's not our representative. He's a representative of a party that the Western countries maintained in power, a criminal party. It was obvious what this party will do, only not for them.
Am I the third party? I'm representing America now. I heard a Russian over there say something about she wants to kill me because I bombed Yugoslavia. Is that right? I'm an American. I'm a warrior. I'm a veteran. I bombed Yugoslavia. You don't want me there? Fine. We have some mixed emotions about the Balkan War. I personally don't believe we ought to be there, but my country chose to be there. We got young warriors going over there to die. You want us to bring them home? I'd love to bring our boys and girls home from the Balkan. I'd love to not be involved in your damn war. I'd love to have you kill each other if you want to. Tell me to go. But here's the problem you need to deal with right away.
It is right that I want to kill you.
Okay, but here's something you need to deal with right away. If you drive me out, you must take my bad with my good. I am there because I thought you wanted me there. If you don't want me there, fine, but be prepared to take my bad with my good. You don't want me there, I take everything and go home. No money, no food, no nothing, no bombs. That's fine if that's the way, because some of us feel that we ought not to be every place.
But I want to tell you.
Let's hold this down, friends. Let's allow this. Friends, this is a hot spot. Let's hold it down. It looks like we have a dialogue between the American people and the people from the Baltic area. Yes.
Can I say something? I'm very, 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 I'm very sad. And why I'm sad is that a black person. Yeah, you're a black American. I see. Wait,
Here's
I see
a white person that's willing to speak for that role. Here's a white person willing to speak for that role. And I think the mainstream's absence and lack of feeling and lack of suffering over what happened in Eastern Europe is shameful. And at the same time, I'm getting sick and goddamn tired of saying, do something, and then we do something, and then the whole fucking world says, no, that was the wrong thing, fix it.
Wait a minute, wait a minute.
Friends, it's a hot spot.
Who told you to come and bomb the place? Who told you that? If
it was all over the place.
If you cannot do something, if you cannot do something that is more helpful, that one is there. Shut up!
Citizen has no control over the power structure.
Hear to me for a while.
No one can listen. No one's listening to each other.
What about the people
Did
in
you
Sarajevo?
ask us?
No one is listening.
Did you ask us whether we invite you there?
What
you
about-
asked
what about-
Western Europe. You asked
Wait, just a
Western
sec.
Europe.
Xenia,
You were
Xenia, I'm gonna
invited by
interrupt.
Western Europe, but not by our
I'm
region.
sorry, I'm gonna
Did
interrupt.
you
What about the
ask us
people in
what we-
Sarajevo?
Just give me,
But
please
we
give
did
me a
not
second.
intervene. We did not intervene for years in Sarajevo.
We're trying to take this a step further. This is a dialogue that needs to happen. I would beg people to slow down, listen, and give time to each side to answer.
Yes, I am victim. I'm enrolled victim. I need help from anybody because somebody kill me, somebody reject me about my country. I don't know. I am from Albania. I am from Kurdistan.
I see you.
Somebody.
I see you that you're
Stop
suffering. I
the
see-
situation.
This is the discussion between these two sides needs to occur.
Yes,
and there's a lot of
discussion.
pain.
But during this discussion,
huge amount of
I
pain.
am dying.
Yes.
Each day.
I see you.
Each day.
I see you that you're suffering. I see you that you're dying. And what I'm trying to do,
What
I'm
you
trying?
What
I'm
you trying?
trying to do something.
But
I'm trying to do something.
But I'm still dying all the time
And
when you're trying. All the time, each day. Each day.
very
So let's
painful.
do that
Like
here.
Tell us. Tell us. Tell us.
A lot of feeling, friends.
When,
Yes, Janusz. Yes.
Let's
for
do-
example, during the Second War, each day 15 Jewish people was died in gas chamber. Talk. And be against these people who fighting with Hitler. With killer. Is killer present in Balkan? Who stopped them? Talking?
No.
No!
No talking.
Must be another power!
But not bombing also.
Who take responsibility to
No,
that?
but not bombing
Who?
also. I see you and I hear you and I have to do something as people of this place, but not more disaster in order to cure this.
We agree.
I hear you have the better way.
We agree.
You have the better way. Now, do this. What it is. What it is.
Friends, can we find a way now by not bombing each other, but listening and trying to feel all the various positions and listening to each side? Is that possible? We can hold that spot now.
Everybody moves out just a couple of inches. Talking one
And I see your pain and your suffering, and I see that I cause it. And the only way I know is trying to speak to my people and stop it. This is the only way that I know. I don't want bombs.
I don't want bombs too.
I don't want to be killed, and I don't want more hate between us, because we're going to stay in this area. And the hate will be impossible. And our lives will be impossible. And I see your pain, and you have right to ask for help, but not this kind of help.
Which kind? Please, tell me. Teach me.
I'm helpless also in a way. The only thing I do is trying to be with my people and do something for you. If anybody has any dumb idea, but not bombings, not more wars, not more hate, not more catastrophe, not more death, this cannot be built up again. Please, listen to me.
Vasiliki, it's nice dream, but reality.
It's not dream. The reality is fucking
Each
dead.
day, each fucking day, people are dying. It's true.
It's true. But now
Give me a way. Give me another way.
Yes, but now, after bombing, people die even more. And
No,
people
it's
exiled,
not true.
People exiled from their places.
It is true, Janusz. It is
It's
true.
not true.
It is true. All the country, it is true. All the country is catastrophic. Catastrophe.
It's true, it's catastrophic, but
More people are killed. You were sent into campus. You lost your house. You lost also your you didn't have. I mean, what you're going? I don't know.
You mean more people on your side were killed? Because people are dying on my side for 10 years.
Say which side that is.
What side that was fighting with Serbs for 10 years? And that means Muslim in Bosnia and Croats in Croatia and Albanians on Kosovo. And for 10 years, you didn't figure out the other method. So I don't trust you. I don't trust you that you have the other method.
I also talk from Greece that we have racism against Albania, and I want to acknowledge and do something about it because I see the pain, and I see the treatment, and I see this thing, but the only way I have is to do it with my people.
But answer what Tanya said. She said you didn't do it for the last 10 years when the Serbs were killing the Bosnians.
That's true. That's true. We didn't do for the last 2 years.
This true is my extermination.
Fix the violence in your own home and then come in mine. This is what I say.
Sometimes we are not allowed to intervene in this area.
So I notice now they are doing their own work. Yeah.
We are not allowed to intervene in these areas. So we cannot do much. We are not allowed to do much in these areas because you have to do it.
Means
I mean, if I talk...
The focus is right here in the center.
Somebody must speak.
Continue it.
People do see a lot of ways, other ways, and they are simple ways. There are simple ways, much more effective ways.
Zhenya, speaking from the point of view of Bulgaria?
From the point of view of Bulgaria, where I belong. Mm-hmm. Milosevic's party and regime was supported all the time financially. His army, the tanks that come to kill these people come from Russia. The simple way to stop him is to drain his sources of support. That's the way that will work immediately.
Yeah.
No? You don't know that?
Excuse me,
don't teach
Serbia
me.
was
Don't
under
teach
embargo.
Me. Ask all the people in our region, in the post-communist countries of my region, they will tell you the same.
Sorry.
You don't.
Sorry.
The army wouldn't have been able to function until now if
each day Milosevic's army was stronger and stronger, and extermination was stronger and stronger.
How is it possible that it's functioning? Everybody knows where the parts come for the tanks, where all the resources of this army. My army in Bulgaria, we started from the same position in 1989, doesn't have the resources to go to a parade, usually.
Sorry.
Why? How is that? How is that a country who is 10 years in a war still can go to war with what resources?
Okay.
Well, what I wanted to say, you're talking about embargo. Serbia was under embargo. Yes, they were. But there are machineries out there. Machineries of war, machineries of weapon. Who doesn't care?
You're speaking from the viewpoint
way.
of... You're speaking from the viewpoint of...
I'm
speaking from the viewpoint of what?
I'm from Croatia.
From Croatia. People don't know where everybody is from.
I said it earlier. Sorry.
May I? I think we're getting back into Russia and America now. That's the reason I came here. The resources and everything. One of the things I want to suggest, and this is the reason I came, I was touched as a veteran, as a warrior. I didn't want to hear about Balkans. My back bothers me when certain things do. So I went over and sat down. And then I came over. If the politicians get together and you decide how it's to be settled and you settle it, there won't be a reason to call us. But when you call The military don't tell us how to do it. The way to prosecute a war is to drop bombs on people and kill people, to drop airborne troops on people and kill people. When you call the warriors in, you politicians should get out of the way. So I'm waiting to hear you settle it. If you don't settle it, then we come in and don't tell us how to prosecute
They're
war.
working on
We
it.
know how to prosecute war.
They're working on it.
But
it's a point of view,
Speaking from the viewpoint of the Greeks. The Greeks. I come from a place where our foreign minister was running around the planet every day all these months, begging for a ceasefire, for a political solution. And where every time that our foreign minister pushed the solution towards diplomacy and dialogue, the State Department of the United States issued a directive that Greece is a country that supports terrorism, and thus cornered us in the wall and forced us to shut up. We are a country where 98% of the people were against the war, and at the same time were humiliated and put our heads down and put our signature for the NATO bombings. I've tried, from my position, I've tried my best. My experience is that the generals took over. When I did not invite them, my government did not invite them.
You never worried about the Serbs, whether they're alive or dead. When my houses were being burned in Croatia before the war started, when my aunt and 10 members of my family had bombs thrown into their houses.
It's not true.
When hundreds of thousands of Serbs had to leave Croatia in 1990, 1991, nobody paid attention. When Croats and Muslims in Bosnia killed Serbs, nobody paid attention.
I'm listening to you, and there's a disturbance also.
Yes, but
I'm
let me say something after 10 years.
10 years of not being able to speak. Let him speak. He spoke with guns.
Yeah, you spoke with the guns. Do you know how much...
You spoke with guns too. We spoke with guns equally. And that's the point is...
In my country we spoke with guns equally, you know?
We fired back.
We spoke with guns equally in my country, on my territory. That doesn't make it equal.
It was Yugoslavia.
It wasn't.
It was Yugoslavia for the Serbs who suffered so much to liberate themselves, and together with the Croats who invited them to join this.
But what happened during the 40 years of being together? We felt your oppression, and that's why we felt
oppression too.
We felt oppression by the Serbs. Do you
But
want me to
in
talk
1971, I lived in Zadar.
You want me?
Can we listen to
No,
each
this
other?
is not history. This is my life.
I want to ask, is it
This
possible?
is my life too.
Is it possible to listen to each other? I notice each interrupts the other, and I'm afraid of some more bombs.
I can let Croats or others talk as they have for 10 years.
Is it
If you don't want to listen to me,
I'd like to listen to you, and I'd also like to listen to the other side. Can we listen to both?
I don't have any problem listening to the other side. I know what the Serbs did.
All right, let's listen.
I'm not advocating anything that will cover up crimes by the Serbs. I know them. I worked for the War Crimes Tribunal in The Hague for 2 years, and I worked on investigating all sorts of crimes on all three sides. So I know very well, and I admit, and I said yesterday, I apologize. In my opinion, we have to hear each other. What are our pains and what are our frustrations? If they say something...
Let's listen now. We have to
Can
hear
I just
each
finish
other.
one sentence?
Let's listen now to the other side, please.
I want him to finish one sentence, if you want. Thing is that I don't trust you when you apologized. I really, truly don't trust you because you say all the right words here. You mentioned Hague, you mentioned human suffering on all sides. You draw all kind of historical lines. But I don't see you truly feeling. And that is where I want us to meet.
Me too. I would like to see that in you here, that you are willing to see what I feel about what at least I believe and what I think it really happened, what you did to me.
Simon, I will make this more concrete. I don't trust you right now because you're talking about what we did to each other.
Bulgarian speaking.
No, I'm speaking from this role now. And it's not what we did to each other. Your army was against people who didn't have tanks. It's what we did to you. I know that we are wanting, maybe expecting you extremely a lot from you. Let's be aware of that, you are coming from the hell of bombing, just right. You have been there in this situation. And we want you to also be able to face your victimizer role just after coming out of the bombs. But still, we will not trust you when you say what we did to each other.
Yes, thank you, Zhenya, because I actually couldn't think of that at the moment. What we did to each other means we had equal power. And you know very well that you had all Yugoslav army to use it. And you used it. So I don't see it as what we did to each other. And I do know what my people did to your people in Croatia in '95. But it was, don't forget, how many towns were shelled all around Ukraine in meantime. Please don't forget that. And we could go on and draw the line in history wherever we want. What happened in 7th century, what happened when the Roman Empire split to two sides, means nothing. That's what our politicians do. But did we have equal power? And who stands for the power? That's a question for you here. That's a question for me now in Croatia. That's a question for this world. Who has power and who has responsibility?
Yes. I agree. And that was, this time, it was the responsibility of Milosevic or his government and the Serbian people. But you also have to take into consideration that they were in a shock and they were scared.
Who?
The Serbs.
Serbs?
Yes.
When you started to attack us?
Sorry?
When you started to attack Croatia, when we wanted to get separate from Yugoslavia for 40 years?
There was something on our side too.
Wow.
I just
say
wanted
that,
to.
Tanya. Could
There
you
was
say
something going on our side
Yes,
too.
there was.
Can you say it? Can you say what that was?
I don't understand you right now.
And Annabella said that were you starting to attack us? And I said there was something going on our side too that I want to acknowledge here. That wasn't only when Serbs started to attack us. I do know that Serb minority was deprived human rights in Croatia. Serbian minority in Croatia was abused.
Yes.
From both sides, from Croat side and from the Serb side, so that they, Milosevic and my President Tudjman, can fight for power.
You're nodding.
Yes.
Sima, would you like to say something? You're nodding when Tanya says
Yes,
that.
I believe that the Serbs in Croatia, in other parts also, were used and abused by Milosevic. That is true. But they had, the people, they had legitimate fears. Just as we see here, Jews coming up and talking about their ancestors who died in Auschwitz and every other place, saying never again, and that ghosts are there or around us here. So are the ghosts of so many Serbs killed in World War II. And these, let me finish, and this had a very, very important role, and that was the responsibility for using the military was on Milosevic's side. But the responsibility to calm down the fears of the Serbs was on Tudjman's side. When in World War II, Serbs were really slaughtered, and just like the Jews have their fears and their ghosts and everything, so did the Serbs. And in 1971, I was taken out of the kindergarten with other kids who were Serbian, and I was being led somewhere. I don't remember. I remember through some fog.
Please, please, excuse me, please, can I interrupt you?
I want to finish
I'm from
what
Croatia.
happened to me.
I'm saying I'm from Croatia, and I keep on listening to you, and I mean, you're all my colleagues and friends, but I just want to say I feel so bad. I came here to talk with you in this group because I wanted us all together to do something. Now I see you talking, and I wonder if anybody here really understands what's going on, because I don't understand what's going on. So I need to check with all of you, because my position was to come here and to see what we can all do together. I don't want to come from the position of pain. I was in the war, and when I talked to myself, I said, yeah, okay, let's go what we can do further, you know. I'm
yes,
kind of
but we can do this together.
Sorry, please, let me finish. I'm sick of coming back in history. I'm overwhelmed with history. There is a future in front of us.
So when it's my history, you're overwhelmed.
Right. No,
when it's
my history.
My ancestors who were slaughtered and killed, and I
No,
have a fear
no,
that
don't
you will do it
misunderstand me.
again to me.
No, I have a deep respect for our history, but I just think it is too much spoken about what was in the past. I need some action that we can do all together in the future.
But maybe
I disagree with this because
yes.
all of these things happened to the Aboriginal people in the last century or some other time, and the Indians were killed in the last century here, and the Jews were killed in World War II. So we should not remember any of that. And they feel pain. I want to express my position that I'm also a human being, and I'm a Serb whose ancestors were killed by your ancestors who had the guns at that point of time. And if we do not recognize this, I recognize the fact that the responsibility for using the arms today was on the Serbian side. But hold on. But you have to recognize my fear of you, because you already killed me once, and I didn't have any weapons at that time. And Serbs
I hear
felt
that, Sima, and I hear that you were starting to speak of your childhood. I heard that. And that was the first time, I think, that many people could begin to understand the experience of these great events that we're talking about personally. So I would love to encourage Sima to speak personally, and also on your side. I know your feelings come from your personal experience. That makes us all listen carefully.
I will not speak from my personal experience. I was spoken to many people from States, from my friends who asked me for do that. I think at the moment, I'm so sorry if you can be angry on me, but I think at the moment it is not time for me to speak from a personal experience. It is even bored for me to go into war and everything, and I don't feel it makes any sense. I came to here to do what we can do all together. I don't want to compete with pain, because
I want to talk because this is the first time the big group hears me. I'm sitting at the edge between this group and between the larger group because I'm a mother, I'm a heterosexual, I'm a divorced twice woman, my children are Americans, and I'm an American, And I am born in Greece with a heritage from Asia Minor, where my family came to Greece because they were their family in 1922 with the exchange of population, and it's in me to feel I belong. I thought I belonged nowhere, but with a lot of help and analysis, I feel I belong to the world, and I want to help the world. That's why I'm here today. But first, I had to go through all this pain, and now one of my sons is in the State Department. He's in the legal advisor's office. And he talks to me to remember that part of me is Armenian. And my grandmother was one of those saved Armenians. And I'm sitting at the edge. And the only thing I can do is hold my sisters in Greece, hold my children and grandchildren here, and try to teach the world. All of us need to do some self-awareness and to respect ourselves and to find our own power, because if each one of us feels powerful, we will not oppress the other.
Okay, I hear you.
She's at the edge, and I think we're at the edge between what's happening right now. And then, why don't you go on? You wanted to say something before about doing something together.
Well, yeah, kind of feeling that nothing's going to be done, you know, and that okay, and I'm going to speak personally, but
Yeah.
I find a power in myself to forgive, to go through the years of war, being bombed, and I don't know, maybe it's something, let's say, wrong with me, but I want to look in the future, you know.
There's two things. You want to look into the future, and you are trying. Do I understand you?
Oh, I'm looking into
trying to
the
remind
future
us
too. But as Tanya said,
the history of
to
trauma.
me, she said to me that she didn't trust or believe me when I said that I apologize or that I feel sorry, and I don't believe them or trust them, and that's the problem.
So much history of agony, concentration camps, and abuse, and pain, that having a discussion at all is at the verge of what's possible.
Yes.
And that we're just sitting together is 80% of the solution. And it's time-taking. And there's a lot of pain and a lot of history, and I just want to recognize that. And that there is security needed with all that agony. You say one wrong word that marginalizes somebody else's pain, and the thousands years of pain is back again. So
And
having said that, let's go further.
The very fact that my death doesn't matter, that me being burned in an oven, my mother being killed and raped in front of me, that doesn't matter to you.
It does matter.
It's not reported.
Things happened to me.
But
same has happened to you.
But your death was reported in the
Pure
media,
Serbian
and
man.
your death is discussed, and
came.
you're maybe not in not maybe in some individual cases, but I'm
Go
talking.
slowly, friends.
Sima, also, you started to speak about something that does matter right now. And maybe you could speak more of what your experience was. If you stay with your experience right now, we'll hold this down.
I want to hear about your experience, because that's not something that I'm able to hear in my country. I want to hear it.
And I think I'm very glad, and thank you, because people in your country are not able to hear it. People in Serbia are not able to hear it because Milosevic uses death as he pleases. So sometimes he puts it in the media all over the place when a Serbian dog dies. And if a whole village is slaughtered, it's not there. In Serbia, there was nothing in the media when Croats kicked Serbs from Krajina. Even in Serbia, nobody knew.
I'm listening now to your story, to you telling your story.
It was not reported in Croatia, except that it was reported as a victory.
It's true what you're saying, that the media, the mainstream media in America and in the West, reports the abuses that happened on the Serbian side and does not report the abuses that happened on the Croatian side, because the Croats are our allies.
And then I see somebody like this gentleman saying, it's lies, what you're saying, it's lies. Well, everybody is telling me that my life is a lie, my death is a lie, my existence is a lie, my history is a lie. My family suffered in World War II. My family suffered throughout the war in Yugoslavia. And we were actually among the first people. I was the first person in America who asked for political asylum because of Milosevic. And the State Department told me in 1988 that he was a Democrat and a wonderful person and denied me asylum. And I was warning everybody here. I was warning everybody in Serbia, in Croatia. Nobody wanted to listen.
Why
My
did you
10
want
members
asylum,
of my family.
Sima? Why did you need asylum?
10 members of my family were expelled from Croatia in 1990, 1991. They're now refugees in Serbia. They have nothing. They don't have citizenship because they were born in Croatia. They have lived there. This is a branch of my family that lived in Croatia for centuries. They cannot get passports from Croatia. I managed to get a passport because I said I was a Croat.
I find it difficult to listen to you because I was really interested when you started to talk about your childhood experience. And this part of the story is so much mixed with propaganda that I cannot really trust it, really. I mean, when you say that there was nothing in media in Croatia about Serbs being expelled, that is not true. I was watching and crying for people leaving Croatia. That was on the news. That was also described as a victory. And I remember American ambassador standing on tractor with Serbs being expelled from Croatia. That is so, you know, when you say that it wasn't reported and then you say another thing that may be just your view, then I feel like, okay, we can go on, exchange things that are half propaganda, half our personal experience, and then I mean, I don't see the point. I was raised in a country called Yugoslavia. I refuse to call myself Croat, even though both of my parents are Croats, because it wasn't the right thing to do.
Me too. You can look in the census.
What you do?
I always registered as a Yugoslav, and even when I came here, I said I was forced to be a Serb.
But we were forced to be Yugoslavs.
That's a big moment, Prince. Big moment.
But the difference here, I think, what I believe is what she's saying. She believes and feels and experienced that she was forced to be a Yugoslav, and I chose to be a Yugoslav. And I think that is also the very essence of the story, yes. Because Serbs believed in the unity of everybody. Yes. And we overcame our nationalism. I'm not talking about everybody, but we believed that Yugoslavia was all our country, of all of us, while the Croats felt oppressed and conquered again. Is that how you feel? And I have a reason to believe that, and because the way it was done after World War I, they were in the Austro-Hungarian Empire, and they wanted to be free from them. But the Allies took over and they created Yugoslavia in Versailles without anybody consulting the people there what we wanted to do.
I mean, I just, you know, when you start to talk, I'm starting to lose it because there is, again, history coming in and everything, and it's too complex, and I don't know. It's that is what I really wanted you to know. That for me, I mean, I didn't know that. I didn't even realize that. That I was oppressed. I didn't realize that because it was in school, it was in books, everywhere. It was the only right thing for me to do, to be Yugoslav. So for me, it wasn't right to celebrate my culture. And even when the nationalistic clashes started, I refused to identify myself as a Croat. But here comes the point where I believe I can understand Serbian people today. With airplanes over my head and bombs and shells dropping on my town, I had no choice. I was defined by them as a Croat. And nobody, absolutely nobody cared what do I think personally. And that I find the most painful about this bombing, that bombs do not make selection between people. And
yes, I agree. I agree with that. This is my very personal opinion and feeling that we both were terrorized. Yes. Because, and this is why I want to talk about these things from the past, to explain to you what I have in my head, what are my feelings about your ancestors and my ancestors, and your evil people and my evil people. And this is the essential thing that has to happen, because I understand you, because I also had to suppress, or maybe not me personally, but Serbs in general had to suppress being Serbian, and it just felt oppressive for everybody in that respect as far as nationalism was concerned. But I did believe in Yugoslavia. And it hurt me when I saw that everybody else didn't want Yugoslavia. Wow. I knew there was something wrong with it because so many people didn't want to be in it.
I have to say many things to Sima. And I just, part of the bombs that bombed your country, your nation, because it wasn't bombing of military objects, passed through the airspace of my country. We gave access to that. I am one of the persons who wanted my country to give access. Because I knew I cannot do anything to stop NATO, but my country can do something to stop Milosevic from being stubborn and his party. And it was, if we as neighbors didn't give him some support, that even though it's a different truth for me, in a different context, that this decision was right. Here, when meeting you, the only thing I can do, if I'm in contact with my feelings, is to just start to cry. Yeah. Because I'm the victimizer here in reference to you.
But when I tried to overthrow Milosevic in 1990, in 1991, in 1992, in 1996, for 3 months we were outside. Millions of people, all of Serbia was against it. No money came, no support came. Even Albanians didn't want to come to join us. We called them, we said, and when I say we, I'm saying the Serbs who wanted to change Milosevic, who didn't want to oppress Albanians, who even wanted to give away Kosovo, to just get rid of it. Because many Serbs wanted to just get rid of everybody who didn't want to be with us, so that we don't have to fight or to do anything anymore. Nobody came. Let me finish.
We cannot expect you to apologize really to them before we have apologized to you, because right here we don't have a Kosovar person really. But we have a Serbian person. And we are to take our responsibility. We cannot expect you to be the first to take it. I'm not sure if I can I'm too much out of contact in this minute to be sure if I'm speaking from my deep feelings, but at least I know that during all these days I was in contact with these feelings, and I want to apologize to you. From my position of Bulgarian.
We need to accept the diversity of opinions and not from the outside again try to make people come together more than they actually are together, and to accept their conversation and the feeling things and the intellectual things that are happening.
Sima, I came here for resolutions, and you were speaking me about the history, and I just want to share my history right now with you. Is it okay?
Yeah.
You said that you felt like a Yugoslav, and I felt like a Yugoslav too. I really am. I wasn't aware much about the Croatian stuff, but at one point I started to see that in my country there, when Tito died, he kept us together, and after 5 years everything started to fall apart. It was not just my country. Slovenia got 10 days war and they were kind of recognized as a separate republic. We reached for our constitutional right to get separate. You know why? Because 80% police in Croatia were Serbs. Everybody, they're holding the higher position, higher rank. There were no that much Croatian people in Serbia. There were no, but lots of Serbs were in Croatia. You see? And we felt oppressed, and we wanted just to separate. And then when we wanted to do it, we were attacked, and we fired back. We needed to stand up for our rights, and we did. I think this is the main issue today. Some people said they attacked us, but we can do it through. Other ones fired back. And this is the way how we are going to solve this issue today here. There are lots of ways of coping. What to do with the Serbian forces in Croatia? How to fight back? There are honest way of warriors, but there are disgraceful ones, and I feel shame, and I'm sorry. I really am. And I carry that inside of me, and there are people that can see that too. I didn't get any response from Serbs. I didn't feel their sorrow for Croatian people and suffering. They didn't give it to me. I didn't feel their shame. They were kind of proud of it. I didn't feel the shame for what they've done. And I need that one, and my people need that one. And I think as long as it doesn't happen, it will be a problem for Serbs to come back. It will be a problem for Serbs to come back. Some people forgive, some people cannot forget and just keep on doing it. There's lots of individual stories here, and we have to handle them. And what I'm asking is here how to do it.
When you say there are lots of levels here, I'm wondering, is it appropriate now to go on holding the focus right at this level? Or perhaps this is time to shift to another level of working on this issue. Maybe
I hope that the world can help us.
You want the world to help you? Okay, we hear.
I'm asking, you can't see me, the man from Serbia, Sima, and Annabelle. What would be best for you in the moment?
At the moment?
Because the world has always intervened on you. What is best now for you?
At this point, I would like to invite the world, but I don't want any bombs, anything. I just want peaceful solutions.
She wants to talk about peaceful solutions perhaps later. How about you?
Yeah, I would like to talk about that, but knowing myself, I can go on for 3 days. And
I think that's probably a great insight. And it's an insight, understanding, and that those 3 days probably are also just too little to go on. Oh, great.
For more information and online discussions with the participants and facilitators of this and other tapes in this series, please contact us at our website, www.iworldwork.com.